to the Final Four.
Arizona, one of 16 unbeatens remaining in Division I college basketball. They're wearing their road reds. It's the home gold for Scott Drew's Baylor Bears, who come in at 6-1. Arizona at 9-0. Chase Jeter grabs the ball off the opening tip, and Nico Mannion controls the first possession.
It's really an interesting feel in this building because Arizona has the home crowd behind them. They're the road team, but there are more Arizona fans here than Baylor fans because the Baylor right now involved in that Big 12 championship football game, and kind of a unique feel to the building. You wonder, did Arizona fans get in free also? Because Baylor fans got in free.
Yeah, it was a big Christmas giveaway by Scott Drew in the athletic department. All things considered, a good crowd, though, and a high-energy crowd for a game that feels like it could be in March Madness. Off the window, that's Josh Green, one of the much-heralded, much-hyped freshmen for Sean Miller.
Love everything about this kid's game. It's another McDonald's All-American out of IMG Academy. He's 6'6". He is extremely fast and explosive from that big wing position. He is the real deal.
Here's number 45, Davion Mitchell, gives it up to fellow transfer 31, Maceo Teague.
The dirty parts of the game will decide this thing for Arizona today. There's no question they can score points probably in the 80s. Can they get enough stops in their first true road game this year?
Butler, tough shot off the window, and Dylan Smith comes away with it for the Cats. They go inside to Jeter on the block, working on Gillespie. And Gillespie saves it to Mitchell.
We'll keep an eye on the rebounding numbers in this game as Tristan Clark gets out ahead of it. Last year, Baylor went on the road and 51-19, Rich. Baylor punked Arizona on the glass. And Sean Miller has driven that point home to his kids all week long.
Mannion's first shot off the mark. And Baylor comes away with it. Mitchell goes right into the chest of Nico Mannion.
Probably the best defensive play that Nico Mannion has had this year because he is not an all-star defender, not in love with that end of the floor on film. But he gets back and moves his feet well, bam, automatically, yes sir, officiate the defense. The defense was in great position. A good call and out-of-control play by Davion Mitchell.
Your officials this afternoon, Tony Padilla, Keith Kimball, and Larry Spalding. Here's Green for three. Sweet stroke, too short. A fresh 20 for the Cats. And that's a turnover by Arizona, averaging just 12 a game so far this year in that department.
Yeah, they take care of the ball. They're very clean on offense, Arizona is for the most part. Now, interesting, Baylor has only played maybe 10% zone this year, talking to their staff yesterday. And they're a long, lanky zone team the last couple of years. And about 50-50, but so far this year, predominantly man. For those three small guards, their zone's just not big enough this year in the eyes of Scott Drew.
Loose ball taken away by Arizona. Here's Mannion in transition. Calls his own number, and he's 0 for 2 in the opening moments.
Extremely confident is Mannion in those transition pull-ups. Your pickup point, if you're Baylor today, better be a step or two higher on number 1 in red.
Here's Teague for three. Rattles it home.
Man, that looks good, doesn't he? Again, those numbers are astounding for what Baylor's shooting the ball from three. 5 guys you have to really get after from Baylor, and Teague and Butler can really stroke it now.
Tristan Clark got in a stance and took the offensive charge. That was Maceo Teague with the three, making his 71st consecutive start as a college player.
There's a little bit, just a little bit of a hitch after he catches the ball. But once it starts going up, man, his a 40% three-point shooter, and Jared Butler's 52%. And once that elbow starts rising, it's as good as you see in college ball.
Everyone you talk to around the country raves about Baylor's guards. Here's Butler. 12 in gold. We'll be calling his name a lot. He's off the mark on that shot. It goes out of bounds. It'll stay Baylor basketball.
I know Baylor has a 1-point lead early, but Sean Miller is going to be very pleased right now in his eyes how his team's playing. I question their toughness, and will they really want to dig down and play dirty basketball today? So far, they've stayed in front of the ball. They've talked. They've been in a stance, and they are gang rebounding on this end of the floor, something they have not done well so far this year.
Teague tried to throw it off of Dylan Smith. Smith corrals it and brings Arizona up the floor. Left hand off the window, too strong. Gillespie the rebound. Teague spots, too strong. Again, this time it's good.
Those guards for Baylor, I think they're really good. I know they are at running down those missed three-point shots. There's 3 of them on the floor at all times that can handle and shoot it. Davion Mitchell, 45 in yellow, the primary defender early in this game on Mannion.
Mannion leaves it for Jeter. And Jeter gets fouled and will go to the line off a good feed by the freshman sensation, Nico Mannion.
Rich Mannion has such an experienced feel in the pick and roll plays. There's 30 NBA scouts in the building today, and the eyes are here primarily for those 3 freshmen from Arizona. But Mannion's feel in the pick and roll game, and he's quicker in person than he appears on film just 3.5 minutes in. He's got a little burst, a little step back. He can change gears really well, and he's a full 6'3". And that point guard for Arizona is the real deal.
Chase Jeter at the line, 1 for 1 so far, and that's bonus because he's only a 50% free throw shooter on the season. He makes them both to bring Arizona to within 1 in the opening moments of a top 20 matchup, one of only 2 top 20 games this Saturday, the first Saturday in December.
You just heard Sean Miller holler his guy, sit down and guard. And if they do that in this game, they can get out of here with a road victory.
Mannion the rebound. And the Cats want to run. They have numbers. Here's Green. Pretty finish.
How fast are they as a team, Arizona? It's not just Nico Mannion and Josh Green. That is 5 guys flooding the floor at top-end speed. Hard to guard.
And that is Josh Green not at 100%. He's dealing with strep throat. He doesn't look it so far in the opening moments.
Yeah, that kid, though, he's a scoring junkyard dog. You can kind of have your pick right now in terms of what order those 3 freshmen might go in the NBA draft. I love Josh Green, 0 in red.
Teague, aggressive on the offensive end.
A really good fake by Teague to get Green to leave his feet. Green lost his discipline.
Maceo Teague has all 7 Baylor points in the early going.
Arizona averages 87, Baylor averages 80.
Najee off the mark. Out of bounds. And we'll take our first timeout. Coming up, big game on the hardwood here. Big game 100 miles north of here on the gridiron. Both with the Bears involved. We'll talk football and fashion when we come back. ESPN's anticipate was getting a lot of buzz about his fashion choices on the sidelines. Jimmy Dykes, Rich Hollenberg here in the Ferrell Center. We have one of the actual smocks that Coach Rule has been wearing. And listen, you know better than I do. Coaches are creatures of habit.
Yeah.
He started winning wearing that smock. He's not going to change it. He's doing it today against Oklahoma, about 100 miles north of here.
Yeah, did he have the smock on when they were hit 28-3 against Oklahoma?
I think he might have.
And then they lost the lead 34-31. Wow, that was a big-time football game that night, and that as well, Baylor now in Oklahoma with that Utah loss last night. They could very well find themselves in the college football playoff, the winner of that game today. A huge game going on about 90 miles north of us.
You got to bet that a lot of Baylor fans are also fans of the LSU Tigers.
Yeah, they will be.
If Georgia loses, that opens the door for a Big 12 champion.
This kid's floater, it's as good as we have in the college game. I mean, he's fast into his float. A lot of college guards can knock that shot down, Rich, if they back it off about 75%. This kid is full speed into his floater. It's beautifully done.
I don't think people understand how difficult that shot is to execute.
As we go on in college ball, kids are getting better with their feet in those deep corners, learning the importance of sidestepping instead of stepping back into their shot or stepping back into their drive. Saw it called again last night in the TCU-USC game. And don't make the same mistake twice.
5 on the shot clock. What does Baylor want to do here?
Get it off within 5. That's the first goal. Don't turn it over on the inbounds would be goal number 1.
And they did just that. Jamal Baker gives it up to Mannion. It's an early 8-7 Arizona lead coming up on 14 minutes to go. Here's Dylan Smith for 3. And the rebound of Vidal, and that's his specialty.
That's what he needs to do in this ball game. Mark Vidal out-rebounded Arizona by himself last year.
Nice turnaround jump hook by Freddie Gillespie, his first 2 of the game.
Think about this. Mark Vidal last year had 16 rebounds in that game. Arizona only had 14 rebounds because 5 of theirs were team rebounds. You don't think that Sean Miller hasn't driven that point home.
Now he steals the ball. Another transition opportunity for the Bears, and Devontae Bandu will go to the line and shoot.
Well, those guards for Baylor are relentless. They're all about the same size. Their speed comes at you with about the same velocity. And Scott Drew just rotates those dudes in. Plays a lot of 3-guard lineup. They can all shoot it with the exception of Davion Mitchell, who's on the floor as a defensive star. This Bandu kid, he shot 44% last year in Big 12 play. Just another legit stroke that Arizona has to be concerned with today.
That free throw gives the Bears a 2-point edge. 13:39 to go. We're having some minor technical difficulties here, which is why you're not seeing the score at the bottom of your screen. We will keep you posted as Nico Mannion takes his first rest of this afternoon. He was dealing with some back issues coming in. Talked to him before the game. He said a couple days ago he couldn't even touch his toes, but he looks good to go today.
Yeah, tight back, and you mentioned Green out with strep throat this week.
And that's a foul on Arizona. Going on Ira Lee away from the ball. Baylor will have a chance to extend their 2-point lead.
Well, how good has Jamal Baker been, the transfer from Kentucky this year? 50% from the 3-point line. He only has 3 turnovers, 26 assists and 3 turnovers. Played in 28 games for Kentucky last year. A big shooting guard that Sean Miller can go to off that bench.
Jared Butler, leading scorer for Baylor, on the bench, averaging 19 coming in. Maceo Teague doing the bulk of the scoring so far this afternoon.
Yeah, it's an automatic. Baker got 2 hands on the drive. Well, all those Baylor guards now, they'll work you now. They'll dance with that ball. They're shifty with it. Love to spread and play one-on-one. Arizona has to buy in to how the hard part of the game is today, how important it is. Sit down, get your butt down, high hands on closeouts, and guard your guy.
Here's Bandu in the corner. 10 on the shot clock for Baylor. And a travel called on Maceo Teague.
Yeah, a really good, fast, disciplined closeout by Green. Because his first 2 steps recovering to the shooter were instant, but he didn't lose his discipline and fly by. This Green kid's special. I talked to a couple of NBA scouts, and as you did before the ball game as well. And he is a 2-guard waiting to happen at the next level. 0 in red.
Number 5 in red, Max Hazard, seeing his first time on the floor. He's a grad transfer from UC Irvine.
Switching man-to-man by Baylor. And they'll switch 1 through 4, with the exception of not switching off at the 5 spot with Gillespie right now.
11 on 11. Here's Lee and Vital going toe-to-toe. He got it off, but Hazard missed his first 3-ball attempt. How surprised are you that both offenses are sputtering and both come into this game so vaunted?
Well, the energy level is terrific by both ball clubs. And again, Arizona, it was a 10 a.m. body clock tip for them, 11 a.m. local time. And you kind of worry about the energy level of your guys as a head coach. Not an issue at all. I think these teams understand how important this win will be for one of them on Selection Sunday. Huge resume win today.
Knocked away. That's another steal from Vital. And they call a foul, but it's going the other way.
And Rich, that's that energy that I'm talking about by both ball clubs. That time it was Vital. Kind of hesitated on the double. He comes late. He comes on baseline side. Baylor active defensively. So Jeter just not tough, not strong on the ball. 4 in red. Watch right there. You don't teach a post guy to drop the ball between your knees, waiting to make a move. And Vital came in and just ripped it from him. And that's the. I think Baylor's going to go at Chase Jeter Day and test his toughness. Does he want to play body-on-body basketball? Because we know this guy does. That's how Mark Vital is wired. And he's already got 2 steals in this game. And Baylor, they love the contact that goes on within a college basketball game. They're going to find out if Arizona is going to enjoy contact in this ball game as well.
And we talked to Sean Miller. He said point blank, his team has not faced a defensive team like these Baylor Bears, and they're going to be tested. There's another jump hook from Gillespie. But it's interesting to note, Sean Miller's Arizona Wildcats came in #1 in the nation in fewest steals allowed. They've already had the ball stolen from them 3 times.
Yeah, they have. It's again, Arizona's so good now on the offensive end. They're one of the top 10 teams in offensive efficiencies. But they're going to have to win the game today with their defense. That's not it. That is not it. You let a 42% three-point shooter, talking about Arizona, you let a 42% three-point shooter easy step in to a transition three. And Sean Miller has a serious message to send to his guys in this next timeout. Look at Bandu. No one even in the picture, no one outside the three-point line. Your pickup point against Baylor has to be high. Come on, Arizona, wake up.
And Gillespie got fouled on the way up.
Yeah, and Arizona's shaking their head, not on the call. I think they're shaking their head, those 5 defenders, in terms of we can't stay in front of the ball. And they don't have a defensive confidence at all about them right now with 9:26 to go.
Well, Jimmy, how about this? Arizona's 0 for 6 from 3. They came into this game 6th in the nation in three-point percentage. How much of that is credit to the Baylor defense?
I think quite a bit of it. I think Baylor's defense is really hot right now, and they're speeding Arizona up. A team that likes to play fast, Arizona, especially in transition, they're being sped up a little too much in that half-court offense.
Well, tomorrow on ABC, we'll have the Lone Star Showdown between Texas A&M and Texas on the hardwood at the new Dickies Arena in Fort Worth. That's going to be taking place at 3 Eastern. They haven't met in the regular season since the Aggies beat the Longhorns in the Battle for Atlantis quarterfinals, a tournament you're familiar with. You just got back from there.
Yeah, great field. And, you know, Sebastian the Sea Lion still gets mentioned a lot, as well he should. And that was a fabulous tournament this year. And Michigan was a terrific team in a loaded field. Oregon out of the Pac-12, very impressed with them. Matter of fact, they get N'Faly Dante, I think, in a couple of weeks, who's a 7-footer, projected to be a first-round guy. Oregon right now, to me, is the best team in the Pac-12.
Freshman to freshman, that's Mannion to Zeke Naji with his first bucket of the afternoon. That ends a 15-0 Baylor run.
You know Arizona has the firepower offensively to get back in this game. I'm just not convinced that they're locked in defensively enough to get stops.
Here's Flo Thamba getting some time, and the big man travels.
And when Flo Thamba is on the floor, he's going to be the 5th scoring option. And those Baylor guards, as good as they are, they need to make sure that they're getting their look first, and Flo Thamba would be the 5th guy. I know it was a pick-and-roll situation, but kind of put him in a bad spot, having to put on breaks out of that dive.
And you could see by the substitution patterns, it's a little bit of a chess match between Scott Drew and Sean Miller. Right now, both of their reserve big men on the floor at the same time. Thamba, and for Arizona, number 35.
It's a game, he's making 5 of them per ball game. He's tracking his shoot about 15 or 16 times in this game, just wired to score. Terrific quick play at the high extended pinch elbow spot to let him work off by Nicolo. But his release, Rich, is just like that, man. Off the bounce or off the catch, either one. And NBA scouts were lined up watching this guy for about 90 minutes before tip, and he gets it in and out now with a flurry. And I came out of the Bahamas watching Cole Anthony, and those two kids, to me, are the best 2-point guards in that freshman class. I think he shoots it a little bit better than Cole Anthony. The one thing that Cole Anthony dominates that this kid doesn't do is on the defensive boards. Nico Mannion does not at all get on the defensive boards, where Cole Anthony is a beast in that area. But very, very comparable. Offensively, Nico Mannion's got it all.
That 3 by Mannion was the first 3 by the Wildcats this afternoon. Here's Butler, and he answers with a 3 of his own.
A really good sidestep by Butler. Under control, and you talk about guards that can score it in different ways with different speeds. He's one of them. I just don't think there's 5 guards better right now in the college game than this kid.
That is his 27th triple of the year. He's shooting over 52% from beyond the arc. That one off the mark. Gillespie the rebound.
Good hard double team on Zeke Naji by Scott Drew. Not letting Naji get going in this ball game.
Baylor's now +6 in the rebounding department. That's going to be a key all game.
Got him.
Butler got him up in the air and got the foul.
He got him.
Veteran move from Jared Butler, the sophomore.
Yeah, Dylan Smith is a kid guarding him who played his freshman year at UNC Asheville. Wired to score at 6'5", but watch the ball fake. Boom. There you go. Come on into me, and I'll leave the floor and get myself to the free throw line.
Jared Butler has been the top scorer in 6 of the 7 Baylor games. He was the most valuable player at the Myrtle Beach Invitational, where the Bears took the championship from the then 10th ranked Villanova Wildcats. A very impressive win. If they could couple that up with a win against 12th ranked Arizona, now you're talking about a real legitimate March resume.
Well, they're going to have one, and they're going to be tested in the Big 12. I think Baylor and Kansas right now are the 2 teams, and I watch them play, think they'll probably be the hardest to deal with in that Big 12. Certainly Oklahoma State's off to a good start. Texas Tech isn't going to go away, but I just watched Baylor and Kansas. They look a little different, and they are different in terms of how they play. The speed at the guard spots of Baylor is something that is going to be hard to handle for everyone this year. And it's a guards game in college ball, and Baylor's got 4 outstanding guards, 3 at all times for the most part on the floor. Is that a blood spot he's trying to get up? That one spot's got to be
yeah, that looks like a
sneaker mark.
Right. Well, Butler's at the line waiting to shoot his 2 free throws. In addition to being the best three-point shooter on this Baylor team, he's the best free throw shooter as well, 20 for 22 coming into this contest. These are his first 2 of the afternoon.
So if you're sitting home thinking, okay, if this kid's one of the best guards in college ball, one of the top 5, who are the others? Well, I saw Peyton Pritchard at Oregon. I think he's one of the best guards we have in college ball. Cole Anthony's got to be in that list. The Nico Mannion kid, I think, has to be in that list.
Are you a Cassius Winston guy?
Cassius Winston, no, he's not. No, he's not in my eyes what these other guys are. He's a very good college lead guard, but he doesn't have the extra sauce that these guys have. Miles Powell would be on that list as well.
This year, it seems like there is a ton of lead guards, point guards or scoring guards, who are just littered around the country. Makes for fun basketball. There's another Arizona turnover.
Arizona ran a baseline out of bounds play they call bang bang. When they say bang bang, they're going into their flex action, and Baylor was alert and on top of it on that flex cut, the shuffle cut on the baseline. I mean, you're 9 games in now if you're Arizona, and you're 7 games in if you're Baylor. So now the really detailed parts of scouting start coming through with all the phone calls that assistant coaches make. You're starting to get the vocal play calls now involving your scouting report. Bang bang is the flex cut baseline out of bounds under for Arizona.
Haven't seen or heard from Josh Green in a while for Arizona. He's on the bench for Sean Miller. Mannion pull up again, off the mark. Nice save by Najee.
I personally don't like the shot clock only being reset to 20 on an offensive rebound.
Why not?
I think you're bailing the defense out. Why did they only have to defend for 20 seconds? Make their butts defend for 30. They're the ones that didn't box off and go get the offensive rebound. It can especially come into play in a late game situation when it's a 1-point game and you don't secure the rebound. The offensive team gets it. Now they're forced to take one with only 20 seconds on the shot clock. I would have kept it as it was. We messed with the game too much. Why reward the defense and say now you only have to defend for 20 seconds? 20
seconds again on the clock. Najee gets it high post. And an offensive foul. Mark Vital sticking his nose in there again.
Well, the scouting report tells you that Arizona likes to bubble drive off that elbow inbounds play. It's just a bubble cut, a bubble drive to the opposite side of the rim. And Vital was so good at getting on that left side of the body to take away the bubble drive. You're looking at an Arizona team, Rich, they're averaging 87 points a game.
Yeah.
And Baylor's speed and quickness just not giving them anything on that end of the floor.
Yeah, that's 4th most in the nation. And right now they are being held at bay by a good Baylor defense. Wraparound pass, loose ball, saved by Mitchell. Teague.
Bam. The quicker team is Baylor. Arizona's fast. They have some end-to-end speed, but the quicker team is Baylor.
Well, we talked about rebounds and turnovers. 3-pointers are telling the story in the first half as Dylan Smith misses and Vital rebounds again. Baylor 5 for 8 from distance, 1 for 9 for the Cats.
Yeah, Arizona ran no offense that time.
Here's Vital, 2 feet in the paint, had it blocked. And Baker leads the charge. Little Euro step through.
The flop
and
warning.
they're going to call a flop warning, so is that going to be a free throw as well?
This is the first warning, is it not?
That's the warning,
Yeah,
yep.
That's the warning. And if you've listened to any of my games this year, why are we giving warnings on that play? The warning is when you open up the rule book this year and read it, you understand we're getting a flop out of the game. We don't need to have warnings all season long. It's going to irritate me the entire season because it's not going to change. It's like warning someone that you can't travel. Just call it. Let's move on.
I want a happy Jimmy Dykes. I don't want a curmudgeon Jimmy Dykes. It's Christmas time. Let's talk a little bit about, in a second, we're going to talk about unbeatens because Arizona is coming up on the ropes of remaining unbeaten. Tomorrow at 4 Eastern on ESPN, Notre Dame takes on number 4 UConn at Gamble Pavilion and Stores. The Huskies are 3-0 against the Lady Irish in the Women Jimmy V Classic. They've won 8 of the last 10 against their rivals, and I know some people in this building who will be interested to watch that because the Lady Bears are ranked number 7 in the country and the defending national champions.
Yeah, that's the best rivalry right there, though, in women's college basketball. So here are the Baylor cheerleaders, and I had to go on a fact-finding mission. So they have 3 squads here at Baylor. They have an all-girls cheerleading squad, a co-ed squad, and a dance squad. So half of them are at the football game today,
right? And
the other half of the squads are here at the basketball game today. Here's the kicker. The cheerleaders to our right on this end, because they're right there you're looking at, they didn't go to the football game today. You know what they get to do?
What?
They get to go to the bowl game.
Oh.
They got the better end of the deal, right? A one-day trip to Dallas or like a 4 or 5 day trip to the Sugar Bowl or the college football playoffs.
That is some
I had to know, man.
Investigative reporting
it was
by Jimmy
bothering
Dykes.
me. My wife was a cheerleader in college. I had to find out why are you here and why are they there?
By the way, Oklahoma leads that Big 12 championship game in Arlington by a score of 10-0. Things going decidedly better for Baylor fans in the Farrell Center.
Vital is tougher than anybody else that Arizona puts on the floor so far in this game. Now that can change, but this cat right here with number 11, he's tougher and mean as a snake, and Arizona has not matched that yet in this ball game.
He had 17 rebounds against Arizona last year in Tucson, and he has made maybe the biggest impact in this game for Baylor so far.
He single-handedly out-rebounded Arizona by himself last year. What more do you need to know about this guy? Watch the bubble drive. Good job by Baylor just to blow that dribble handoff up by Vital. He got him, though.
Heads up play by Nico Mannion, and he'll go to the line and shoot 2 for the first time this afternoon.
Just a little over-aggressive by Vital. Should have backed off another step because he's got 3 or 4 inches on him. But Vital's going to fight now, and Nico Mannion is so clever, so good with his feet. He doesn't travel, doesn't lose his discipline at all. He's the real deal. And you see guys on the NBA, projected draft boards. I think I watched 3 films coming in. I saw special stuff about him, but this kid's got it now. I know his team's getting smoked 32-16. But Sean Miller's eye to eye with, I think, what could be a future NBA All-Star type kid, Rich.
Our officiating crew checking to see if it was a 2 or a 3 tried by Mannion. He's going to the line either way. And here we are talking about Arizona being one of 16 remaining unbeaten teams, and they are getting smacked right now, getting doubled up by Baylor. Some other undefeated teams in action today. Maryland, who you just saw recently, they're taking on Illinois. That'll be a tough game for them. Butler, who's going to be coming here to the Farrell Center next week, taking on University of Florida in Gainesville. Ohio State taking on a much improved Penn State basketball team. Here's the look to see if it looks like he was behind the line clearly from that shot. So this could be one of those days where a lot of unbeaten teams go down.
You know a team I like on your list? Can I borrow your notes, by the way? Yeah. Liberty.
The Flames.
Yes, they got everybody back,
baby.
man.
How about
Those dudes
that?
won a game last year in the NCAA.
Yeah.
I like Maryland. I'm not convinced they're the 3rd best team in the country after watching them live. They can be if they continue to fight as a group defensively. And I want to see Cowan be more of a vocal leader. It's time for 2 days. I'm not sure he said more than 10 words. And I don't know whose team it belongs to right now. And there should be no question it's Anthony Cowan's team. Not in terms of number of shots, but in terms of is his voice the dominant voice? Because I know it is from Peyton Pritchard, Miles Powell, guys like that. I think this is Mannion's team as well, listening to him talk.
Interesting to note that Baylor, not sure who their voice is on the team, but we'll discuss that when we take a quick timeout and come back
I'm gonna
this.
take a happy cough drop, by the way, during timeout and get a smile back on.
Ago at the McHale Center, where Baylor came to Tucson and laid the smackdown on the Arizona Wildcats. They beat them 58-49, snapping Arizona's 52-game home non-conference win streak. And we've already touched on this. Baylor absolutely dominated on the glass.
51-19. It was a message sent by Baylor last year to Arizona. And Arizona right now, the physical part of the game, Baylor's winning all those plays. Sean Miller knew he was going to find out about his guys today. Their first true road game against a team that can physically get into you. And as good as those three freshmen are, they have not seen these type of bodies or this type of quickness so far this year. Are they good enough offensively to get going? Yes. Arizona's only made 1 out of 9 from the three-point line. Arizona has 2 assists. Rich, they've had 4 games this year over 20 assists.
Yeah, they're 7th in the nation in assists per game. But as Sean Miller told us, they have not faced a Baylor team like this.
That was just a weak effort, though, by Jeter. You're on the road. Sean Miller calls your number. Get the ball to the power part of the floor. You've got to at least get fouled if you're number 4 from Arizona on that play. You have to.
Clark off the mark. Here comes Dylan Smith.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You're on the road. You're down. We throw it to you. Get yourself at least to the free throw line.
Behind the back. And the finish by Jeter that time.
What a pass.
That's a 7-footer making that behind the back pass.
Koloko. Behind the back, he was double teamed. They were trapping the life out of him. And the 7'2" guy with a long wingspan with a whip around.
And there might be a lot of fans up in Arlington for the Baylor football team, but they're loud inside the Ferrell Center now. And 1 for Jared Butler.
Man-on-man, one-on-one, make it, take it. That's kind of how Jared Butler and his buddies on that perimeter play the game. This kid's all of 6'3", and he is a classic big scoring guard. Watch my guy Koloko, though. He gets double team. It's a pretty good double team. But the long reach around right there, well, actually, it's not a good double team. Because you've got to come out and suck the life out of, if you're Tristan Clark. And Tristan Clark was just kind of standing there. He wasn't low active with his hands and didn't get on that low shoulder. But what a pass by Koloko. How many assists does he have on the year, Koloko? I guarantee you that was his first assist on the year. Am I right? No, his second. That was a beauty.
Should count as 2. 8 points for Butler. The lead is 35-21 coming up on 2.5 minutes.
Baylor they're switching man-to-man this year. They are tough, they're aggressive, they have no problem switching 1 through 4 because their guards will fight.
Josh Green back on the floor, got denied on the lob by Gillespie.
That's one of those finesse plays by Arizona that works against bad defense. It won't work in a big-time game.
Butler working on Mannion. That's the marquee matchup. And Butler lost it. Here comes Baker. He's been hot from outside to start the season, but he misses that time.
That ball came off funny. I don't know if it got tipped or he didn't have it clean in his hands, but kind of had it look like an awkward rotation by Baker. It's a very critical minute 49 now. Watch this ball come off. That's not his normal release. That thing barely hit the rim. A little bit of a sign again. Arizona playing a little too fast, and for a team that loves to play fast. Good job by Baylor just to blow up all that screening action around the rim. 3 guys trying to free up a lob.
Like to see them try to get Josh Green involved in the offense a little bit.
Yeah, he's too good of a player to not have looks.
And Koloko showing the full repertoire.
If Arizona can go in 10 points or less, it's a win for Sean Miller these last 2 minutes. Because they have been punked for a big part of this game in the hard parts of the game.
Tristan Clark for 3.
Nope. Arizona wants him to take that shot.
Saved by Green, but to the wrong uniforms.
Rich, that's a bad shot by Tristan Clark, man. He's 0 for 1 on the year from the three-point line. You're holding on to a 12-point lead. Things have gone your way. You're trying to win the last 2 minutes. And Tristan Clark fires one up from 23 feet early in the shot clock. All you've done now is given Arizona some hope with 1:10 to go. I'm not sure they had hope 7 or 8 minutes ago. They're starting to figure this thing out. Good teams fix the problem within the problem. They don't wait till the next day. Is Arizona going to do that today?
Under a minute to go. And a foul called on Baylor. That's going to go on Mitchell.
Josh Green came into this ball game 0 in red with 31 fouls drawn on the year. Only Najee with 37 fouls drawn has drawn more. So he's got that explosive first step that gets him to the free throw line a lot.
Well, SportsCenter tonight after UFC Fight Night with Scott Van Pelt. Herbie and Reese will join the show with their college football playoff top 4 predictions, plus coaches around the country make their team's case for the playoffs, and the best moments and highlights from Fight Like Hell Night in the UFC honoring Stuart Scott. SportsCenter with SVP on ESPN as Josh Green hits the first of 2 free throws.
I don't think folks understand how hard Stuart Scott fought just to do his job while he was sick. And I've heard the stories of the guys up there in Bristol that worked the studio shows with him, of him going through his radiation, his chemo, and throwing up in commercial breaks, but coming right back up to the desk and delivering with passion what he loved to do. And we had a beautiful story on Wednesday night of Rex Fluger from Notre Dame and losing his mom and the tattoo on his wrist. It's really blowing up on social media, the interview. It's worth watching, and just kind of puts into perspective the battle that all of us are touched by this week during V Week. The dirty plays, man. It's coaching staff's grading, and Baylor has won 10 out of 11 so far in this half. 10 out of 11 times when it's been who wants it, a 50-50 ball, a contact play, a collision at the rim. The team in gold has whipped the team in red 10 out of 11 times. Can that change in the second half? Absolutely. And Sean Miller's going to be talking about it.
Well, it's a 35-24 Baylor lead. Sean Miller is nonplussed, to say the least.
Yeah, he's sweating through that. I love the no-tie look. I have no idea what he's saying. I'm guaranteeing he's challenging his guy's manhood, as well he should. I keep using the word because that's what coaches say. They're getting punked, Rich, on a lot of those plays. Those grown men, are we tough enough to accept the contact, initiate the contact, enjoy the collisions? They have not. Now, they've shown some signs they might fight through it, but, man, he sent a strong message, because on the other end, Scott Drew's guys, they thrive in that type of stuff.
Well, it's 19-11 on the boards in favor of the Baylor Bears, and Sean Miller was clear when we spoke to him before the game about what the keys are for this game. He said defense and rebounding, and so far Baylor is excelling in both of those
With
categories.
all that said and done, Arizona gets a stop here and gets a shot at the buzzer. They're going to be in pretty good shape in this game. They got the stop. Now, can they make the shot? Take it early enough to get an offensive rebound.
The look for Mannion to lead.
He got pushed.
And he got pushed out of bounds. So 8.7 remains in the first half, but Arizona will have a chance to score the final bucket.
Well, but Baylor's going to have the chance to score the final bucket
Lee's
now.
going to the line now.
Lee going to the line, and important, very important 2 free throws right now to somehow get this thing to single digits and then defend your tail off with 8.7.
Lee comes up short. Meyer the rebound.
Plenty of time.
Here's Bandu.
Plenty of time.
3 seconds. Gets into the lane. It doesn't go. But it's been all Baylor in the first half. They lead the 12th ranked undefeated Arizona Wildcats 35-24. Baylor this season 4-1 when leading at the half. But going back in their last 40, Jimmy, they are 36-4 when taking a lead to halftime.
I've got no shot of doing it. I would love to be in Sean Miller's locker room right now, because there's going to be some strong words used. Arizona's not done. There's this team that's scoring 87 points a game. Plays is it the first time all year now we've been put in this spot. So the challenge has been set, and we'll see how Arizona responds to that challenge, because Baylor is no joke. They're not going to go away. They continue to pound you on the glass. Baylor's one of the best offensive rebounding teams we've had in the country over the last 8 or 10 years. And Sean Miller knows he has enough offense, Rich, to get back in this game. Shots will fall. Can they get enough stops and get enough rebounds to give themselves a fighting chance?
We've seen this story before, and unfortunately for Arizona, they've lived this before. 1 year ago, Baylor went to the McHale Center in Tucson and laid the smackdown on Arizona, beating them 58-49, holding a high-powered Arizona offense to under 50 points. It's much the same this afternoon on Baylor's home court.
Yeah, when you turn it over 11 times like Arizona did the first half, just a little bit of a sign of just not playing through the hard spots on the floor. A terrific start, though, out of the timeout or out of halftime by Arizona. Had they made those 2 free throws to close out the first half, now look at the score.
Hasn't been single digits in a while, but it is now 35-26 after that Zeke Naji bucket to open the second half. Here's Jared Butler. Mitchell, the step back over Mannion. No, and the rebound to Jeter.
Arizona likes that start defensively, and they like the fact that Davion Mitchell, the least likely guard to make a shot, was their first time.
Dylan Smith held scoreless in the first half. A lot of dribble handoff for the Wildcats. Almost picked off by Butler. It's out of bounds and will stay Arizona basketball, 9 on the shot clock.
What Baylor is doing a good job of is staying attached to shooters on the perimeter on any post touch or a drive to the paint. They're not going to let Arizona get those three-point shooters rolling. They're staying attached, and Arizona has to adapt now and play through it.
5 on the shot clock. Mannion from deep, off the mark. He leads Arizona in scoring with 8, but hasn't shot it well. Teague. He's the game high scorer. Gives it up to Butler, who's too strong on his 3 attempts. And Arizona coming out showing a little more toughness than we saw in the first half.
Yeah, just a little bit. Mannion is so good going left, but he's also hard to handle going right. And his game is being broken down every which way you can break it down. Every time he steps on the floor by the 30 NBA scouts that are in the building today, and every game on Synergy. But he's got everything. I've seen one thing that you think, can he do this? Other than, will he be a willing defender and can he get on the defensive boards?
Look at that pass.
Yeah, that's the Arizona offense that you know is just there, sitting there waiting to happen. This should be a 35-30 game had Arizona made the 2 free throws to close out the first half. That's behind them. And now what's in front of them is, can they get enough stops and they can get on the defensive boards and not let Baylor stand this thing on the offensive glass.
The Wildcats travel well, and now they have something to cheer about inside the Farrell Center.
Just a slip by Tristan Clark, that left knee. I think it's going to be a whole another year from now before we see Tristan Clark back to who he was prior to the injury. You miss ball for 6 months, and all the hope and expectations in preseason this and preseason that. That's a hard recovery to come back from when you've missed 6 full months.
A 14-3 Arizona run has gotten them back in this game. Here's Teague, spot up 3. No. Rebound to Jeter. Clark on the bench now. They're managing his minutes as he comes back from that knee injury that had him miss most of last year.
Get the ball to the third side of the floor, and good things can happen for you if you're Arizona. Well done.
Naji, off from point-blank range.
Can't miss him. Not in this type of game. You can miss those kind of things in the McDonald's All-American game. You can't miss them.
Butler working on Mannion. And Mitchell rolls off the rim from close range.
Mitchell has taken more shots than Jared Butler to start the second half. I don't think that's good news for Baylor.
Smith had it knocked away out of bounds. It'll stay Arizona basketball, 14 on the shot clock. Nearly 3 minutes gone by in the second half.
But Rich, even that drive by Smith had more punch to it than what those drives looked like in the first half. And I said it earlier, really good teams fix the problem now. They're not going to have to wait to watch the film tomorrow. They can fix the problem while the problem is going on. And Arizona looks like that kind of team right now to me to start this second half. 3
on the shot clock. Mannion spins, can't hit, and it's an offensive foul. Mark Vital in the mix once again.
4 or 5 times a game, Mannion's going to put himself in position. If you get your feet set and understand it, as soon as he spun, Vital said, he's coming to me. And Mark Vital was sitting right there outside that restricted arc. Watch, when he spins, boom, he's telling them, coming to the rim. Every single time he spins, he's going to the rim for the floater, and Vital was right on top of it in a very thorough scouting report that we got to sit in on yesterday.
And Nico Mannion coming up a little bit gimpy after running into the brick wall wearing number 11 in gold.
Did you like that scouting report yesterday, that film session we were in with Baylor? Yeah. That was pretty tight. That's a good way to put it. You asked me afterwards, how much of this will they retain? And I said, you know what? You hope they retain the 4 or 5 major points that Scott Drew was making.
Seven to shoot for the Bears. errant pass off the hands of Najee. Didn't hit the backboard or the rim, so the 4 seconds remain on the shot clock.
I would put size on the ball if I'm Arizona and not let this be an easy pass towards the rim. That's exactly where Jeter goes. He needs to shade the rim a little bit more and use his 6'11" frame.
Teague goes around Gillespie, and now they're going to just have 3 seconds to get a shot off. Bandu, tough one. Would have been good if it went. Vital went for the offensive rebound, but we're going the other way.
Wow, that's a hard call.
That's really, in front of Scott Drew's bench, too.
It's a hard call to go either way because the ball's in the air and both guys, man, are going for it. I talked about win the collision in this game. Arizona never won the collision in the first half, and that time it was Nico Mannion said, I'll stick my nose in there, and the call goes their way. If you back away from the collision, you got no shot of winning the whistle.
And now some tough news for Baylor on what's been an otherwise positive day. Mark Vital is saddled with 3 fouls. He remains on the floor.
Got to score it.
Jeter blocked again. That's 2 blocks by Gillespie, and Vital rips the rebound. And Nico Mannion has a bum ankle right now. You could see him limping, and he's going to come off the floor. That's bad news for Arizona. As Bank of America Stadium in Charlotte, the Tigers have won the last 4 ACC crowns and are big favorites in this one. Game tips off at 7:30, 4:30 Pacific on ABC. And the good news for Baylor fans, even though Baylor basketball hasn't scored this half, Baylor football did get on the board in the first half of the Big 12 championship game up in Arlington. They trail Oklahoma 10-3. Nico Mannion on the bench, hobbled off with an apparent knee injury of some sort, but he looks okay. I saw him dapping some of his teammates that he's going to be fine. As everyone in Arizona holds their collective breath.
Yeah, all eyes at halftime on that football game, and I was waiting for Sean Miller outside of his locker room, standing by the Baylor cheerleaders, and one of them hollered out, "Give me a dadgum helmet and I'll make a tackle." And she seemed pretty serious about it.
Well, they're trying to take care of a couple more blood spots. There might be more blood on the floor here than there is up at Jerry's World with the Big 12 championship game.
There's the squad. Again, they get to go to the bowl game, while the other half of the cheerleading squad today is up north at the Big 12 championship game. Arizona's cheerleaders are here as well. Not a great spot. They're halfway up the tunnel, but
yeah, they didn't get prime real estate. Let's put it that way.
Well, Scott Drew's team continues to be a threat on that offensive glass. Only 7 in this game. They've missed 23 shots. They've gotten 7 of them. They came in getting 38% overall on the offensive glass.
What a job Scott Drew has done in not only turning around this basketball program, but really giving it new life when he came here 17 years ago. He's the all-time winningest coach now at Baylor. And, you know, you might not consider Baylor a blue blood per se, but when you look at most wins in the Big 12 over the course of the last 10 years or so, it's Kansas number 1. Everyone would guess that.
Right.
And then it's Baylor number 2.
Yeah. I had a lot of fun last night. I was on a group text, myself, Scott Drew, and Bryce Drew. Bryce Drew's doing a game for us later on tonight
at SMU.
SMU in Georgetown. And the conversation was, is Bryce going to come to this game today? And Scott was letting him have it, and then Scott said, I need your help on this. So I jumped in there and started the argument even more, just to escalate the 2 brothers going at one another.
I think I just saw a Kim Mulkey sighting also underneath the baseline there. As Maceo Teague hits them both. Baylor's 10 of 11 from the free throw line. A big reason they're up 9 on the undefeated 12th-ranked Wildcats.
Well, the offense is going to look different without Nico Mannion on the floor, as well it should. When you're an all-star point guard, the game should look different when you sit down. But Arizona's going to have to manage it, and we don't know how long. We don't know if Nico's going to come back in or not, but you've still got a lot of offense for Sean Miller to work through. You see Nico sitting there next to the assistant coach. It was the knee that they were working on.
And there's Mark Vital, Jimmy. He has been true to his name. He has been vital to this Baylor lead, and now he's going to have to go to the bench with his 4th foul of the afternoon. Mark this down because he has been the big energy giver for the Baylor Bears this afternoon.
There's more blood on the floor. I'm not sure that he's got enough squirts left in his squirt bottle.
Yeah, they've got to figure out where it's coming from.
This rate continues, because right now we're kind of at about an 8 squirts per every 2 minutes ratio with my man right there.
Yeah, he needs to be a little more efficient with the spray bottle. As Josh Green will step to the line. He's 1 for 2 from the free throw line today. 81% on the season. And he misses the first.
Both parents played pro ball, Josh's parents in Australia. Brother Jay at UNLV, national champs last year at IMG Academy. I described him in the first half as a scoring junkyard dog, and there's not a lot of those guys. I would use that description at the college level. This kid's one of them. Without Nico Mannion, he needs to get involved offensively in this game.
Well, he grew up in Sydney and he played Australian rules football.
Yeah.
I would say you need to be a little bit of a junkyard dog if you're going to get involved in that. Won a national championship with IMG with Jeremiah Robinson Earl, the fabulous freshman from Villanova.
What a great closeout by Josh Green. We won't go back and show it, but it was as good of a closeout as you can have when he was out of position on the skip pass.
Nice feed down low. Flo Thamba getting in the scoring column.
I like Baylor getting the ball around the rim, because Najee and those other guys have not shown the toughness really to protect that rim so far in this game. A little bit of game pressure put on Baylor. I wouldn't be surprised if Scott Drew doesn't get a play call again for something around the rim for Flo Thamba. Gillespie's out there right now, and go right back at the chin strength of this Arizona defense.
Chase Jeter on the bench. Now Ira Lee goes to the bench, so reserves on the floor except for Zeke Najee.
Yeah, it's a small on big post up. Good job by Arizona to blow it up, because Scott Drew is trying to go right to Gillespie.
And we're going to have a foul away from the ball. It's going to be on Arizona.
Jamal Baker just ran smooth through Gillespie, setting a little shuffle cut on the baseline. Here comes Nico Mannion.
And that's a terrific sign for Arizona and for basketball fans in general.
Absolutely it is.
Josh Green to the bench.
Well, Arizona forces that long throw out, don't they? Because they put their size on the ball regardless and force you to throw it deep.
Bandu, Teague, and Butler, the 3 guards on the floor for Baylor. 7 on the shot clock. Teague off the mark. 2 of the better offenses in all of college basketball struggling this afternoon inside the Farrell Center.
Got it. It's a downhill between the pipes drive by Dylan Smith in transition. 31 of his 52 shots coming in from the three-point line, but he has also shown me on film he's not afraid to go in there with big bodies and does a good job, Rich, of getting the ball back a little bit and taking the shot blocker out of the play. Kind of a late release off of the drive. You look up and this thing is a 7-point game.
And they could really use Dylan Smith as that secondary or tertiary scorer. That's his first points of the afternoon, coming off 20 in the Wooden Legacy final against Wake Forest.
Remember, Arizona puts 5 guys on the floor that are 39% or better from the three-point line. And so many times yesterday during that Sky Report, it was about make them an MD. Make them dribble into their shot.
Butler goes strong, misses. Thamba with the offensive rebound and got fouled.
But a good job by Koloko to accept and embrace the collision at the rim. Those are the plays in the first half that Arizona bailed on and we're not making. Look at Koloko come over. He goes straight up. You know the contact's going to come. That's a terrific no call. Just they did not clean up the backside of that play. That's got to be a fist fight, Rich, on the backside. The guard has to come down. If he has to face guard to box off on the backside, you have to do it. But at least Koloko, bam, was there for the contact.
Thamba hits the first. Update from Arlington, Jimmy Dykes. Baylor has scored to tie the game at 10 with about 2 minutes to go in the first half.
Wow, and again, the importance of that loss last night by Utah. And if Georgia lost today, right, I think really opens up the winner of that game would be in the college football Final Four.
Absolutely. Potentially historic day for Baylor athletics if they could get a win here and a win about 90 miles north in Arlington in the Big 12 championship football game. Teague working on Mannion. Mitchell. Lost the handle, out of bounds, and a Baylor turnover.
Mitchell trying to do too much. First 6 minutes of this second half, he's trying to do too much offensively.
Well, we're more than 6 minutes in, and Baylor's managed only 6 points so far.
Bring it to Zeke and let him do something. Clear out, cut, let him go to work.
Working on Gillespie.
There you go.
He's one of the best in the nation in field goal percentage. Is Zeke Naji coming in at 73%. That's second in all of college basketball.
Yeah, Azubuike, right, from Kansas, is right at 80%. I like the play call by Sean Miller. He's choking the game down a little bit. And what I mean by that is he's on the road, he's behind. It's an intentional play call to get Zeke Naji posted up where he can go left shoulder either direction, which he's very good at doing.
Naji's first free throw attempt of the afternoon is good, giving him 7. And Sean Miller can battle Bruce Pearl for sweatiest head coach on the sidelines.
At some point, you take the jacket off, don't you? This kid out of Hopkins, Minnesota, made an official visit to Baylor, did Zeke Naji. Everybody in the country was after this guy.
Well, he showed some touch there. 79% free throw shooter, made them both. And it's now a 7-point Baylor lead.
Bando just walked with the ball. No, it was 40 feet from the basket, but he walked with the ball on the catch.
Why is the Baylor offense stalled?
They're playing too much one-on-one. It started with Davion Mitchell, how he started the second half. And so he's taken more shots than anybody else from Baylor with 12:45 to go in the game. And so Scott Drew may have to guard him, and what I mean by that is sit him down. If Davion Mitchell is your #1 offensive option, that's playing right into the hands of Arizona.
So the clock stops with 12:48 to go in the second half from the Farrell Center in Waco, Texas. 18th ranked Baylor, 12th ranked Arizona. Here's a look at that last play. A little bit of a hook and hold.
They get Naji, right?
Yeah.
For the grab. They're looking to see if it was a hook and hold prior to what I saw right there. You have to get another camera view to see it, right?
Those are two Minnesota kids going head to head. Freddie Gillespie's story's been told. He comes out of St. Paul, Minnesota, and ended up starting his college basketball career at Division III Carleton. Played only 16 minutes his freshman year there. Ended up transferring as a walk-on to Baylor, and now is a full scholarship and a starter for the Bears.
Well, that's a hold by Koloko. An obvious hold. He wrapped his arm from behind and was holding him. It's not the classic hook and hold that we're making progress getting out of the game starting last year with the emphasis on it. To me, that was a hold. I didn't see the hook and hold part of it from that replay. But Tony Padilla, Keith Kimball, and Larry Spalding are going to talk it out. We'll get an explanation.
Keith Kimball's coming over from the officiating crew to let us know what the call was.
Yeah, they saw a clamp. I just saw the hold. They saw a clamp on the replay, so it's an obvious hook and hold play.
So that's a flagrant run. That means 2 shots and the basketball for Baylor. That'll send Freddie Gillespie to the line. Gillespie 3 for 3 from the stripe this afternoon. That one gives him 9 on the day against Arizona. And now if Baylor can score on this possession, Sean Miller's club will be down double digits again after chipping away and pounding the rock to start the second half.
Arizona has to stay tough on the defensive glass. They cannot allow Baylor to get another 5-6 offensive rebounds with 12 and change to go.
Here's a mismatch for Butler against the bigger but slower Koloko. He's trying to take advantage, and Koloko wins that battle.
I'm not sure he was slower. At least not over in the corner he wasn't. Koloko did a good job of using his length and backing off and staying just as quick.
And we've got another offensive foul. Baylor's defense bailing him out again.
Yeah, really good job by Baylor to sprint back and get their eyes on the ball quickly. And that's transition defense, man. It's a sprint to the timeline to get your head around. And a really good job of Davion Mitchell, who's as good of an on-ball defender. That's where he does thrive. I would put Davion Mitchell right there with Ashton Hagans and Trey Jones in terms of an on-ball defender, not off-ball, but on-ball now. Those three guys right there are as good as I've seen.
Yeah, Davion Mitchell looks like an all-Big 12, all-defensive team type player.
Move the ball. See if Arizona really wants to guard for, 20, 25 seconds. Too much one-on-one and not getting the ball side to side by Baylor in this half. And Mitchell again, he is killing Baylor on the offensive end.
Green with the floater.
He's killing them. And as much as he's doing defensively, I'm not sure Scott Drew can keep him on the floor because of the mistakes he's making on the offensive end. Arizona really pressing up on Baylor, forcing those guards another 3 or 4 steps outside the 3.
5 on the shot clock for the Bears. Mitchell again, and this time he hits it.
Sometimes it happens. That was a I don't have any other choice type shot by Davion Mitchell.
The lead is 9.
Davion Mitchell came out of a program, Auburn. That's who they are, though. Those dudes can miss 4 or 5 in a row, and they act like they've made 4 or 5 in a row. Very confident system that Bruce Pearl and Davion Mitchell came out of.
Pull-up jumper no good. Thamba clears for Baylor.
Game's getting sped up a little bit.
Gillespie, short. And Max Hazard comes away with it. Look at Mannion.
Great
throwing
pass.
to a spot, but Green can't pay it off.
That was as good a pass as you'll see in transition that I've seen this year. Your description is perfect. You threw it to the spot that Green was running to. The ones you have to make, Green should have gone up and hammered that thing home. Got
Inside,
him.
Gillespie.
Good job by Scott Drew. That's how you win ball games when it gets hard.
Timeout called by Sean Miller and the Wildcats. Let's take a look at the last couple.
Well, Davion Mitchell in a have-to release gets it to drop. 24% three-point shooter coming in. The next possession, bam, Gillespie with a back screen, Baylor on a run.
Plus is a must-have for Baylor basketball fans. The 7th-ranked Baylor women host Arkansas December 18th, while the 18th-ranked men host Jackson State later this month. 15 combined men's and women's Baylor games the rest of the season. Sign up today at ESPNplus.com/Big12. Of course, there is future Hall of Famer Kim Mulkey cheering on the Baylor football team right now as they are tied with Oklahoma in the Big 12 championship, and the men here at the Farrell Center are up 11 on undefeated 12th-ranked Arizona.
Arizona is now 1 out of 12 from the three-point line. And they came in a hot shooting ball club, 43%, number 6 in the country.
Now they make 8 threes a game coming in. They've only made 1 this afternoon. Baylor back up double digits.
And the ball's got to move. It never moved out of the middle third of the floor this entire possession. Makes it tough.
Teague. Thamba. He's been active on the glass in the second half, but Baylor hasn't been able to convert.
If you're Arizona, you got no shot. No shot if you can't keep Baylor off the offensive glass with 9:48 to go. No shot. Arizona's going to hang in this ball game. They got to start checking people. What I mean by that, when the shot goes, Arizona, you have got to go hit Baylor in the chest. You challenge the shot, you check off, and you chase the ball. And if Arizona will do that and not allow no more than 1 or 2 maybe offensive rebounds with 9:48 to go, they've got a chance. But if that offensive rebound number continues to grow for the guys in gold, tough sledding for Arizona.
11 offensive rebounds so far for Baylor. They've cashed in to the tune of 10 points. Gillespie misses the front end of that 1-and-1. And here come the Wildcats trying to push the pace.
Those 3 guards for Arizona work really well off those bigs of Arizona setting screens. Right now it's Lee and Zeke Naji that you can work off of. Kind of a 3-around-2 free-flowing offense. Good hard double team.
7 to shoot. Mannion, that vintage floater. Off the mark. Mannion keeps it alive and gives Arizona an extra possession. Smith can't pay it off.
1 out of 13 is Arizona, and they're the number 6 three-point shooting team in the country coming in.
Here's Maceo Teague, 12 points in the first half, only 2 in the second half. 8 on the shot clock. Mitchell gives it up. Teague, deep. Too deep.
It's not like Baylor is shooting lights out. 6 out of 22 from the three-point line. And stay hungry, get paint touches, win the hard part of the game. And that's for Arizona or Baylor, either one right now.
Jimmy, it's been about 3.5 minutes since Arizona's gotten a bucket.
Flex action by Arizona on that baseline.
Well, Max Hazard's a shooter, but he hasn't shot it well today. Came in 6 for his last 11 from 3, but he's held scoreless. Bandu, sloppy pass baseline, turned it over.
Go, go.
Coming up on 8 minutes to go. Najee, elbow jumper. Big offensive rebound by Arizona's number 11. And he went up strong, and a foul gets called. Now that might be on Freddie Gillespie, but it looked like all ball from behind with Flo Thamba.
I love, though, high release saying, let's have a wreck at the rim.
To you by Phillips 66, proud sponsor of Big 12 basketball. Well, they're relaxing on the campus of Baylor University, but I will tell you what, if Baylor's football team holds the lead and they lead 13-10 in the Big 12 championship, and Baylor hangs on here for a win against undefeated 12th-ranked Arizona, this could go down as the most historically significant day in Baylor athletics history.
And if volleyball wins tonight, advances to the Sweet 16, they're the number one overall
team
seed
in the country.
Baylor's got it rolling right now in athletics.
The women, number 7 in the country after winning the national championship last year. It's a good time for Mac Rhodes, the AD, and Don Rogers, his assistant.
Now look at Mark Vidal out there for Baylor right now. Has not scored a point in the game. Maybe the most impactful guy, though, that Baylor's put on the floor today with 7 rebounds, 3 assists, and a couple of steals in his 12 minutes and 50 seconds that he's played.
No doubt. Here's Thamba. Way off the mark. I don't think that's the guy Scott Drew wanted taking that shot.
No, it's not. And to follow my point on Vidal, he has set the rules of the game in terms of how Baylor's going to play it today and kind of drug his teammates along in that direction.
Teague blocked.
That ball had no shot of going in. No shot.
Back and forth we go. Sloppy play prevails. Here's Teague. Mannion's the only man back.
Yeah, Mannion wasn't going to let that ball get up on the rim. He's going to take a hard foul and make sure that there's no chance for a three-point play. Watch Nico Mannion right here at the end of the play. Boom. Just gets both hands up and says there's no way this ball is getting up towards the rim. This is his 3rd foul on Nico Mannion.
Mannion has 8 points, but in a lot of ways, I guess you could say it's a quiet 8 points. He has not dominated this game by any stretch.
No, he has not. Those Baylor guards have taken the challenge, gotten into this kid. I mean, Baylor knows all the projections talk about Nico Mannion being one of the top 10 or 12 picks. And they said, well, you're going to have to play through us first. I don't know what you'll be doing next year or who you'll be doing it with, but you're on our floor right now, and we're going to make you work today. And they better continue to make that happen over the next 7 minutes because he's good enough to go on a 6-8-0 run all by himself.
Teague leads all scorers with 16.
That pass took forever to get there by Zeke Najee to Chase Jeter.
And Jeter will go to the line and shoot 2. And I believe that foul is going to be called on Mark Vidal, and if so, his day is done against the Wildcats. And indeed it is. So with 7:04 to go and his team up by 12, Scott Drew and the Baylor Bears are going to have to win this game and close it out without arguably their most valuable player this afternoon.
Yeah, or at least most important guy in terms of how he's played, the tone he's set, the ruggedness and the toughness that he's played with. Mark Vital just needs to sit down. I mean, you don't like the call or not, you better sit down and not cost your team even more. 5 fouls in just under 14 minutes played today. Some guys never get in foul trouble because they don't play hard enough.
Can't remember how many offensive charges he took, but he was involved in a few of them. Jeter converts on the first free throw.
Arizona averaging 87 points per game. They're 50 below that right now with 7 minutes to go.
Remember last year in this game, they were held to just 49 total.
It's just that rugged style that Baylor likes to play. They really love contact, Baylor does.
Gillespie wrapped up. Mitchell took it strong, no whistle, and Jeter comes away with it. Mitchell's going to be called for the foul.
Just out of control again is Davion Mitchell. I know it's a short clock that he was driving the ball, but he just drives it right into. I mean, there's no way. He's going to get swallowed up. He's 5'10", and then he makes a mistake on the back end with the reach in right there. And Scott Drew calls him over and talks to him, trying to settle one of his 3-point guards down.
Now Maceo T goes to the bench.
I wonder how players would feel if officials could have body language like players do towards them. Like if you turn it over and the official throws his arms up in the air, looks at you like, what in the world? You miss a shot and they roll their eyes.
A real-time critique of your job performance.
Yes. It's just let's have a two-way street. If that's how you're going to respond to officiating, let's let the officials respond to your bad plays. We're not going to go there, but man, as a player, accept the whistle and move on. You're not that good.
That was 6:26 to go. It feels like it should be Jared Butler time for the Baylor Bears. He misses that three-pointer, and we're going the other way again. So no time coming off the clock with all these fouls, and Arizona continues to chip away and at least hang in this game.
Absolutely. They have not been outworked, talking about Arizona, in this half. They got outworked in the first half for about 15 minutes of it. But they have kind of grown up and, like I keep talking about, fix the problem while the problem's going on. And Sean is going to like that about his guys, whether they come back and win this thing or not. They have taken a step forward in the big boy basketball stuff today.
They're down 8. One more free throw coming for Jeter. And he nails them both. He's 5 for 6 this half from the free throw strike.
Yeah, again, it's two teams right now with 6:20 to go that could very well be in like an Elite 8 game. And most likely will be from what I've seen. They are both that good.
Ten on the shot clock. Bandu out of control along the baseline.
Give it up.
Here's Mannion. And Mannion was a little out of control himself. That's going to be off Gillespie. Or at least it initially looked like it was. But they're giving the ball to the Bears.
Yeah, Mannion had his mind made up from the timeline on that he was going to get the shot off. I credit Baylor, though, to not give up on the play. They sprinted to the paint and put Nico Mannion in a crowd and forced a really tough two at the rim.
So now Flo Thamba checks out. He also has 4 fouls. Arizona has not knocked down a bucket, Jimmy, in the last 6 minutes and 16 seconds.
And look up, and it's still a 7-point game.
Typical, right? 2 great offenses, it ends up becoming a defensive battle.
Yeah. Scott Drew's got to be thinking, oh my. Because I'm thinking it.
Mitchell, no. Gillespie tried, but Najee ripped it away. Here's Meyer. Butler.
Gotcha.
And Gillespie missed the chance at a three-point play. He'll have to earn it from the strike.
If you are wearing a red jersey and you watch this film tomorrow, on that shot, if you weren't crashing down and fighting with all you've got, then you're not trying to win the ball game. Nico Mannion is absolutely standing and watching. And that's one big difference I see in Nico Mannion and like Cole Anthony. Think about this. Nico Mannion coming in today, Rich, 16 total defensive rebounds in 9 games. You know how many Cole Anthony has in 8 games? 50.
Wow.
50. That's a big number. If I'm an NBA scout, I really look at that. And I think, how much does this kid really want to fight through those type plays in a ball game? Is he capable of doing it? Is he athletic enough? Absolutely. But he has to grow up and start making some of those type plays if I'm going to spend the money to take him as a top 5 or 6 pick.
A baker's dozen for Gillespie's, one off his career high. 9-point lead for Baylor. The dribble handoff to Mannion.
Back off of him. He's got a bad shot. Jeter
Picked
does.
off by Meyer, but stolen away by Mannion.
A winning play by Nico Mannion.
Off to the left. Both teams struggling mightily to score. Green, out of control. Loose ball, here's Butler.
Man. I thought Dylan Smith for Arizona, number 3 in red. He had a chance now to dive and give up his body for that loose ball and didn't quite want to get involved in the wreck. And Baylor did. And now we're back to what Baylor was doing in the first half. When the game gets hard, man, and the big Valentine has to grow. Watch right here. This loose ball. Oh, Dylan Smith is reaching, and Baylor is grabbing. That's a big basket with 4.
Wherever and whenever you want them. For more, go to DisneyPlus.com. Rich Hollenberg, Jimmy Dykes. A battle of top 20 teams on a Saturday afternoon in Texas. 18th ranked Baylor with an 11-point lead over undefeated 12th ranked Arizona. 4:27 to go. Defense has been the name of the game.
It really has, especially with Baylor. And they've been on point from the get-go. They've been a hot defensive team. We talk about being hot offensively. You can get hot defensively within a game and within a season. And that's what Baylor has been today, man. They have been on point, really putting pressure on those Arizona guards, forcing Nico Mannion, who is being projected as a top 12 or 15 pick, the guy with the ball right now, to really work.
They go high-low to Green. Gives it up to Jeter. They wave off the bucket.
Man. I'm Sean Miller. I'm at least trying to say he was in the act of shooting.
Yeah, you got to sell that a little bit.
It's a good job to come out of the timeout and say, let's play bully ball ourselves. Yeah, they got him on the reach. Matthew Meyer reached in from behind. It's amazing that Sean Miller's team is still in this ball game, shooting 7% from the three-point line. 7. Like, that's the percentage of chance I had that my wife would say yes when I asked her to marry me. It came through, but my buddies were saying it's less than 10% she's going to say yes. And Arizona at 7% in this game is still in it. And
Chase Jeter.
They're the 6th best shooting team coming in from the three-point line.
Chase Jeter's been paying rent at the free throw line this second half. He's made all but one. That's part of the reason why Arizona's hanging around, down 9.
You think Matthew Meyer will get a shot off?
I think.
The guy with the ball?
Yes. But instead he makes a nice pass.
He sure did.
Gillespie's got a new career high.
That's a really nice roll by Gillespie to come out of that roll with quickness. Really good with his first 2 steps after that ball screen roll.
It's one thing Scott Drew told us about Matthew Meyer. You could laugh about how much he shoots, but he's a really good passer using his size to see over the defense.
Yeah, that was really well done. And then that suffocating double team that Baylor's thrown at Arizona. Look at Gillespie. Keeps his eyes on the passer. Backed up with the floor opened up. He can afford to back up and not risk a charge, knowing that the play call has everybody spread out. So Gillespie just kind of backs out of the ball screen, gets his eyes on Matthew Meyer. Tell you what, Baylor's been really good today, Rich, double teaming, especially Zeke Naji on that left block. I mean, they're coming quick with a double team. They're coming hard, taking away his airspace and his shoulder turning space to be a passer.
Yeah, he's averaging 17 a game coming in. That's tops on this Wildcats team. He's been held to just 8 points so far. Stepping to the free throw line to try to add to that total.
They need them all. Arizona needs every one of these right now. There's not enough possessions left in this game to come up empty on that free throw line.
And with all the fanfare that Josh Green and Nico Mannion have received coming in, Sean Miller called Zeke Naji as physically talented as any recruit he's ever had at Arizona.
And they've had some dudes now. They have had some dudes.
Naji knocks them both down. He's got 10.
Move the ball. There's the first side of the floor. Halfway to the second side of the floor, there it finally gets to the third side of the floor, something good will happen. Right now we've touched two sides of the floor.
10 on the shot clock. Gillespie had it knocked away by Smith.
I would like to have seen one more side touch and then get that thing to the paint. Arizona needs points. They cannot come up empty here, Rich, on this possession. At least get to the free throw line.
Here's Josh Green. He's been quiet.
Nowhere to go with two bigs of Arizona locked in on the box.
3 minutes left. 10 on the shot clock.
The guards have nowhere to penetrate.
And Nico Mannion once again uses that shot fake to his advantage and will go to the line.
Yeah, he got Matthew Meyer in his cylinder on the way up. Matthew Meyer is all of 6'8". Just back up, keep your distance. It's a short clock. Don't lose your discipline. Because this kid's crafty now. He's done it a couple of times in this game. He does it 2 or 3 times every game film that I've watched on him, drawing fouls on that perimeter.
That's 9 points now for Mannion. His first bucket of the second half. 2 for 2. And if this game gets close, you wonder who the money guys are. Nico Mannion has proven already in his young career that he's one of those.
The game slows down in crunch time. At least it has so far as a college player. That drive he made against Pepperdine just outside the pipes to win the ball game for him out in Anaheim during Feast Week was a thing of beauty.
So Mannion now with 11.
It ain't easy to make all 3 like that in a clutch situation.
And Jimmy, when was the last time we could say this? We have a 2-possession ball game.
It's been a while. Change sides of the floor. Gillespie can become a factor if you do. There you go. You change sides, and there you have it. It's kind of a simple game at the end of the day. Change sides of the floor. Give your big an angle. Good things happen for you.
Smith in and out on the 3, but it's going to stay Arizona basketball.
Arizona now below 7% from the three-point line. Watch Gillespie. That's just a little bit of a smoke screen or a ghost screen. Looks like he can set the ball screen, but just slips right out of it. Never actually impacts the ball, but he impacts his defender to make him slow down and guess, and Gillespie just slipped right out of it. That's a really well done design play by Scott Drew on the empty side of the floor.
Well, right now, Baylor is up 8 on Arizona, but if Arizona hangs in here and gets a chance to win this game, you know whose hands the ball is going to be in.
Well, Nico Mannion is so good at driving just outside what I call the pipes of the floor. That free throw line lane extended is the pipes, and he's good at getting just outside the pipe and making a good play. And you're right. The stage has not been too big for this kid today. He hasn't had great numbers. It's not about the stage. It's about the defensive pressure and the multiple guards that Scott Drew has rotated onto Nico Mannion.
A little bit of a gamble for Sean Miller calling his final timeout with 2:21 to go.
Well, you always want to have one as a coach in your back pocket, especially in a close game. But I trust Sean Miller. He's won a ton of ball games to know that the message he needed to send now needed to be sent right now. Not 30 seconds or 45 seconds from now. So he has a lot to cover, including making sure coming out of that timeout, they understand we have no more timeouts left.
That, among other things, discussed in the Wildcats huddle. There's 20 on the shot clock, 2:21 to go. And Nico Mannion will inbound the ball. The reigning Pac-12 freshman of the week. Gets it to Dylan Smith.
If you're Baylor, you have the possession arrow, so Scott Drew should remind his guys, on a tie ball, don't call a timeout. It's going to be ours. We've got 2 timeouts left. They have none. Let's make sure we keep ours and use them when we need to. And right now, Baylor does not need to use a timeout on a jump ball. So many things, man, you're trusting your assistant coaches to be on top of and remind you coming out of those late game situations.
And as you mentioned earlier, Davion Mitchell's the best on-ball defender for Scott Drew and the Baylor Bears. He just got whistled for his 4th foul, sending Nico Mannion to the free throw line. The rest of this way, Arizona's going to be shooting 2 free throws on every subsequent foul.
And Davion Mitchell has questioned every call that has been called against him in this game.
6-point lead for Baylor with the basketball. Coming up on 2 minutes to go.
Where should the ball go, Rich?
Jared Butler?
I like Gillespie. He's done damage around the rim the last couple of minutes.
Bandu.
Nope.
Had to extend the arm. Good defense by Arizona.
Nice find on the
and
backside.
Here's Baker.
Bam.
And he makes it.
And a foul on Bandu.
From bad to worse for Baylor with $1:49 to go.
What a pass by Nico Mannion to reverse the ball and find the backside bomb. That's exactly what this is. He finds the backside of play in transition, and then Bandu with a hard hip check. A huge turn in this ball game. Nico Mannion, the pass is a little high. Jamal Baker stroking it right now. The transfer for Kentucky to the tune of 50% from the three-point line. The play of the game so far, and this thing is down to 1 possession.
And Zeke Naji hits the free throw.
A 5-point possible swing. If he misses and Arizona gets the rebound, it could be a 6 or 7-point swing.
Arizona's last lead was 8-7 with 14:55 left in the first half. And we have a 1-point ball game.
All the people watching the football game need to flip over now and watch the basketball game if you're a Baylor fan.
Well, the ball's in the hands of the guy you wanted him.
Yep.
Jared Butler, 12 and goal.
It's a one-on-one situation for Scott Drew. Let him operate.
Kicks it out. Here's Mitchell.
Give it up, Mitchell.
10 on the shot clock.
Ball screen. Can Maceo Teague make anything off of it?
Now 3 to shoot.
Nothing. Oh, my.
And a late bailout foul called on Arizona.
They call that on Naji, Rich?
That's the 4th on Naji.
Right. Where? There's no foul there. That's a basketball play. Naji's moving his feet. His hands are showing. Did their hips touch a little bit? But that's not a call that you should make at this stage in the game. There's been a lot more severe contact than that in this game that has not been called.
Especially down the stretch, you would hope that the officials would let them play.
Well, no, yes and no. You have to call a foul's a foul. I just don't think that was a foul.
So far at 2-0, and a lot of teams just starting to get into it, but from the coaches we've talked to, Dallin, they seem to like these games early on because it challenges them.
I think they were being a little nice when they said that. To tip off the season was tough to be playing an ACC game. Now it's more in the flow of things. They're not surprised. But with that said, BC gets this game at a really difficult time in their season. They've lost 4 straight games as their competition has gone up a notch and playing some more quality teams, and their numbers have inversely gone the other direction. They've really struggled offensively. See 57 points per game versus 73. Their field goal percentage is down. Their turnovers are up. And now part of it is because of the quality of opponent, as Jim Christian told us that we played. Part of it is because of how they've played. They have been able to get out transition because their defense hasn't been able to be good. Defense has affected their offense. They get fortunate here. There was a kick called there, so he's going to bring it back. But when they defend better, it allows them to get out transition, score before the defense is set. That's when they're better. In the half court, this team has struggled offensively.
You see those numbers, a big drop-off for Boston College over the last 5, and we'll see if they can improve upon that today. You would think, though, too, that in an ACC game at this time of year, it's going to get the players to maybe elevate their play.
The foul gets called.
Because that was just a smoke screen by Gillespie. He wasn't coming up to set the ball screen. He was moving his guy off of the drive path that Butler was going to take. Gillespie started on the opposite block, Rich, and as he sprinted up the floor, that was just a clear-out sprint for Butler to drive.
And with that foul, Jamal Baker has fouled out of the game. Jared Butler will be at the free throw line shooting 2 free throws. He's 3 for 3 this afternoon. 23 for 25 on the season. So as reliable a free throw shooter as Scott Drew has.
Arizona with no timeouts. And you're going to have to trust Nico Mannion, who I trust in terms of a freshman point guard, to manage the game for you in terms of, do we need threes, do we need twos, how are we attacking things right now. Keep Baylor off the glass if this is a miss. Keep Baylor off the glass if this next one's a miss. They are one of the best over the last 10 years at offensive rebounds. It's a small team on the floor, but you have to keep Gillespie off right now if this is a miss.
Butler 1 for 2. It's a 2-possession ball game. 18th ranked Baylor looking to knock off undefeated 12th ranked Arizona. 30 seconds left.
Yeah, Baylor moved their defense up a little bit to buy a little bit of time, and now Baylor goes to the zone. They've played only about 15 possessions of it all year.
Mannion baseline, shovels it to Jeter. Got it blocked.
Rich, you cannot miss 3-footers in a game like this. And Jeter's missed 3 or 4 of them in this game all by himself. That should have been an automatic dunk and possibly an and-one. Just not strong enough, not determined enough, not tough enough to get the ball up and down.
Now 1 timeout remaining for Baylor as Scott Drew wants to talk it over on his sideline, as Arizona will have the ball under their own basket with 15 seconds on the shot clock. There's about a 4-second differential between shot clock and game clock.
You can't drop that ball off any better than what Nico Mannion did. And I talked about Arizona with no timeouts left. And on the fly, Baylor goes to their zone, and Nico Mannion just got the ball on the wing in an isolation and drove it and dropped it off right in front of the rim. Plays that have to be made, they couldn't close it out. And now with 19 seconds to go, Sean Miller has to come up with a quick scoring play right now. 2 or 3 or get fouled, but you have to extend the length of the game right now. This cannot be an empty possession with 15 on the shot clock.
The Baylor Bears ranked 18th in the country, riding a 5-game winning streak, 6-1 overall, looking for a statement win against Sean Miller and the undefeated Arizona Wildcats.
A lot of confusion. Yeah,
They
good
tried
job.
for the lob. Good hands by Teague.
The pass has to get up higher. I mean, that's Green making a pass. He's 6'6". He tried to throw it basically in front of his face. That ball's got to get up at a high release point. Now they're in real trouble in that dead corner over there. This is not a scoring play. This is a get it in play and probably isolate and drive now for Sean Miller. You don't
As
have
opposed to when it was under the basket.
Yes, because now you don't have you may have one scoring play from that dead corner. They're going to line up right now. You're probably, if I had a telestrator, I would cut guys and probably fill behind. But most likely it's going to be a safely get it in, spread it quickly and go.
Well, the ball is in the hands of the freshman Josh Green to inbounds in front of his own bench. 18 seconds left. The shot clock is off.
So they moved Josh Green from the, I like where he is now a little bit better than where they had him established.
And Tony Padilla is over at the scorer's table checking something.
I would like to know why Josh Green got to move from where he was on the right side of the corner up to the sideline in front of his bench, because I thought the ball went out of bounds, did it not?
Yeah, right
where he was
in the
initially
corner.
standing. Well, Arizona's getting a timeout right now when they don't have one.
They were checking the timing on the clock. Now they've added 9/10 of a second. There's 18.9 to go. And so they'll put 15 on the shot clock.
You're going to watch a hard dive to the rim, and then Nico Mannion circling around off the back of this line action. There's the circle by Mannion.
They get it into Najee.
Isolate spread, let him drive. Go, man, you got to make a play. You got to make a play.
Here he is, the floater.
There
In
it
it
is,
goes.
yep.
11.8 left.
Now you got to get up, and if you don't get the quick steal right here, you're going to have to foul. There you go, or even foul before. That's as well as you can do it if you're Arizona. You have no special scoring play in that dead corner. You isolate the ball to Mannion, let him work off of a ball screen, get him going down the pipes or just outside the pipes. He's so good, Rich, at going right down the side of that pipe and making hard shots.
Nico Mannion's runner gives him 15 on the afternoon to go along with 5 assists. They foul right away, and that's Maceo Teague at the free throw line.
Need them both, don't you, out of Maceo Teague?
Teague is 8 for 8 from the stripe this afternoon. Make it 9 for 9.
86% on the year is Maceo Teague. He and Jared Butler at 91%. Close out a lot of ball games with guards that see a big rim right now.
Might not be sexy, but Baylor's 21 for 26 from the free throw line.
Do not give up a three. Get outside that three. Heels above the three, everybody, if you're Baylor.
It's a three-point game. Green for the tie. No. Baylor gets it. And a foul called with 0.8 seconds left. Josh Green had a clean look.
For me, that's too clean of a look. Josh Green is a 39% three-point shooter coming in. And you have got to get outside that three-point line. A two is not going to do anything to you. And Josh Green right there, Gillespie just a little bit late. A pretty good challenge, though, by Gillespie at the end. At 6'9", to go up with his left hand, Gillespie did on the right side of Josh Green's body. I just like to have seen him there a little bit quicker.
Now Jared Butler with a chance with both of these free throws to at least guarantee what would be overtime if Arizona could hit a prayer. He makes the first. Baylor holding the 4th best scoring offense in the nation at 87 points a game to just 58 on their home floor.
Yeah,
that'll do it.
Rich, two really good teams. They're a threat to go deep in March Madness. Baylor's defense today was hot the entire game. Well done by Baylor.
It was a fun one for Jimmy Dykes. I'm Rich Hollenberg. Once again, our final, Arizona 58, Baylor 63. Coming up next, Boston College and Notre Dame. All games airing on ESPN are streaming live and archived on the ESPN app. This has been a